So what we've done now is put in our formulas and functions, and although the worksheet contains the appropriate data, formulas, and functions, the text and numbers, they need to be formatted to improve their appearance and readability. Like I've said before, like this is very sloppy. I can't even read the employees, not completely anyway. I've got email, add, dependent, yeah. So we want to make it more readable, and make it a little bit more attractive at least. So we're going to change the workbook theme. The reason being is a company or department, they may choose a specific theme as their standard theme so that all their documents have a similar appearance. So we're going to go up here to page layout here, and we're going to change our theme to Ion. Where is Ion? Here it is. Ion. So now you can see that now that we change our theme, the text is a little bit bigger. Now we're going to display the Home tab, and we're going to format the worksheet titles. So we're going to select A1 through K1, and then we're going to merge and center. Same thing with salary report. A2 through K2, merge and center. Now we're going to select A1 and A2, and we're going to change our style to title. Now, this is a title, it's a subtitle. Usually subtitles need to be smaller than titles. So we're going to take salary report here, and we're going to go to where it says over here, decrease font size. We're going to click it. So it should be a little bit smaller than the title. Now we're going to put in a background color. So we're going to select A1 through A2, and we're going to fill. So find the fill handle here. We're going to find blue gray, accent 5, lighter 60%. Now we're going to put in a border. So we're going to click this drop down here, and we're going to find thick outside borders. And now we're going to deselect it. So now we have a border. So now this already looks a little bit more attractive. Now we're going to select A3 through K3. And we're going to apply the heading 3 cell style. And then we're going to center the text. Now we're going to select A13 through K13 and apply the total style. And then we're going to go A14 through A16, and we're going to bold these row headings here. So again, looking a little bit more attractive. Now we're going to select cells K4 through K12, and we're going to change the format of the date. So what we're going to do is we are going to format the cells by right-clicking, format cells, and we're going to make sure we can find our date here. We're going to change our date style here, our date format, to where it says 03/14/12. So it's no longer going to look like this, it's going to look like this. So you can see that it's changed. Now we're going to select the range C4 through C16, and we're going to center it. So now we're going to apply the accounting number format and comma formats. So we're going to go E4 through H4. Then we're going to hold down the Control key, select cell J4. Then we're going to hold down the Control key again, F13 through H13. Hold down the Control key again to do J13. So we've got non-adjacent cells. And we're going to do this all in one shot. So we're going to go to our drop down here and click on accounting. So now we've got our accounting number format. So again, it's different than currency. Accounting number format is where the dollar sign is flushed on the left side. Okay, now we're going to select cells E5 through H12. Hold down the Control key, J5 through J12. And we're going to implement the comma style. Now we're going to select the range D4 through D16. And again, click on the comma style. Okay, so we already put in the accounting number format, but we're going to also apply the currency style format with a floating dollar sign. So the currency format places dollar signs immediately to the left of the number. That's also known as the floating dollar sign, as they change position depending on the number of digits in the cell. And then it will also display a 0 for cells that have a value of 0. So we're going to select the ranges E14 through H16. Hold down the Control key, J14 through J16. And we're going to go up here to the number group. We're going to find currency. Now we're going to format this by clicking on the dialog box launcher, and you'll notice it says 2 decimal places. The symbol is the American dollar sign. Now we're going to click the third option down for negative numbers. So instead of a negative being in front of it like this, the negative will be in parentheses. Then we'll go ahead and press OK. So you can see, if you look at the difference between accounting and currency, it's a little bit different when you look at the dollar sign. Now we're going to select I4 through I15. We're going to put in a percent style. So if you remember from your studies in math and other classes that decimal to percentage, usually it's up to the hundredths place, and then the thousands place sometimes influences when you round up. So we're going to go ahead and click on the percent style. So now we're at 25, 26, 26, 25. We're going to increase the decimal 2 places. So we're going to go over here, the number group. I'll click on this 2 times so we're a little bit more precise. So again, it's looking a lot more visually appealing now because we added some formatting. Okay, so we're going to continue formatting our worksheet. One of the things that we're going to be using today is called conditional formatting. And what conditional formatting does is it offers you the ability to automatically change how a cell appears, such as the font color, background fill, and other options based off of the value in the cell. So Excel will offer a variety of commonly used conditional formatting rules, but you can also create your own as well. So for example, how this could be is you could set up a conditional formatting rule where any value that's greater than 72 in column D will format it with a blue background and white font color. So I believe that's what we're going to be doing. Alright, so we're going to select the cell range D4 through D12. And then we're going to click on conditional formatting. Then we're going to go to new rule. And then we're going to click format only cells that contain for a rule type. And then we're going to edit this rule. So if the cell value, the value that's inside the cell, is greater than 72, so this is our if statement. If the cell value, if any of these cell values is greater than 72, then we're going to format it a specific way. So if you click on the font color here, we're going to find white background 1. And then we're going to click on the fill tab here to give it a background. And it's going to be the blue color in column 9, row 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, row 1. And then we'll press OK. So what's going to happen is any cell value that's greater than 72 will be formatted like this. So if you press OK, you'll see that 80 is over 72, 72.5 is over 72, 75.75, and so on. Now how I use conditional formatting is when my students are going to take the Microsoft Office Specialist certification or any of the other certifications, they have to do practice tests. So I have a spreadsheet that shows all of my students and all of their tests, and what I do is I will put in their test scores. And then I use conditional formatting. I have 3 conditional formatting rules. If I have a conditional formatting rule of 84 and below, it'll come up as red fill, light red text. If the number is between 85 and 90, I'll put a yellow in, and what that tells me is they have an 85 or above, they can easily put that up to a 90. And then 90 to 100 will be green, meaning that they're all good to certify. So that's how I use Excel in my daily life. And again, I'm sure you could find different ways to use conditional formatting. Alright, so now we've done conditional formatting, and we'll be working with that later as well to get you some more practice. We're going to be changing the column width. So we have done best fit, and I think that's what we're going to be doing again. But you can also indicate the width as well, which we'll be practicing as well. So we're going to drag through the columns A, B, and C first. Okay? And we're going to first change this to best fit. So we're going to put our pointer here in between C and D, and we're going to double click it. And what that does is it'll change it to best fit, so it looks a lot better. A lot better. Now we're going to point to the right boundary of the column H. And what you're going to do here is we're going to indicate the width. So you're going to hold down your left mouse button, and if you can see, width comes up right next to H. This is width 8.63, 74 pixels. We're going to make it 10.25. So we're going to drag it until we get to 10.25 or 87 pixels. Now we're going to release the mouse button, and it will change the column width. Now we're going to click on the column D heading, and then we're going to hold down the control key and select E. Now, we're also going to hold down the control and select I. Now another thing what you can do is you can right click column width, and you can specify. So we're going to specify 7.50 and then press OK. So we made it a little bit smaller. Now we're going to click on the column F, and drag to G. And then holding the other control key, we'll do J. And then K. And then we're going to drag to 11. So now it changes those as well. Okay. Oops, and I did it again. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to change row height as well. So you can, because I can change the column width, I can also change how the rows are, if they're bigger or smaller. So we're going to point to the boundary below row heading 3. And we're going to change it to 48. There we go. So now it's a little bit bigger. It's easier to see. Okay. Now we're going to find row 14 here. And we're going to change this to 27. So we're going to right click, row height, 27. Let's make this again a little bit bigger. So that's how we formatted the worksheet. Please make sure that you have that all in there as well. But as you can see, compared to what we had before, a lot more attractive, and it's easier to see as well.